Good evening. Thank you all for being here. Are you ready, Judge Martinez? But I want to thank Judge Martinez for coming to swear in our newly re-elected council people, Councilman Lambert, Councilman Price, and Councilwoman Lautenbacher. We are grateful for the service you have already provided the city, and we are grateful for the service you will provide. And so if you will join the esteemed judge here, I will get out of the way.
Are you all ready? Excellent. All right, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Tom Lambert,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
perform my duties
perform my duties
as a member of the City of Dunwoody City Council
as a member of the City of Dunwoody City Council
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
support and defend the Constitution of the United States,
support and defend the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of Georgia,
the Constitution of Georgia,
and the Charter,
and the Charter,
ordinances,
ordinances,
and regulations
and regulations
of the City of Dunwoody.
of the City of Dunwoody.
I am not the holder
I am not the holder
of any unaccounted for public money
of any unaccounted for public money
due to this state
due to the state
or any political subdivision
or any political subdivision
or authority thereof.
or authority thereof.
I am not the holder
I am not the holder
of any office of trust
of any office of trust
under the government of the United States,
under the government of the United States,
any other state,
any other state,
or any foreign state,
or any foreign state,
which I,
which I,
by the laws of the state of Georgia,
by the laws of the state of Georgia,
am prohibited from holding.
am prohibited from holding.
I am otherwise qualified
I am otherwise qualified
to hold said office
to hold said office
according to the Constitution and laws of Georgia.
according to the Constitution and laws of Georgia.
I have been a resident of my district
I have been a resident of my district
and the City of Dunwoody
in the City of Dunwoody
for the time required by the Constitution
for the time required by the
and
Constitution
laws of this state
and laws of this state
and by the municipal charter.
and by the municipal charter.
I will perform the duties of my office
I will perform the duties of my office
in the best interest of the City of Dunwoody
in the best interest of the City of Dunwoody
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
without fear,
without fear,
favor,
favor,
affection,
affection,
reward,
reward,
or expectation thereof.
or expectation thereof.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
All four of you, and they'll stay. Yeah. And then we'll get the council. Right, maybe Judge. Okay.
Of course, it's my pleasure. Do you want them to sign now? Lambert. Yes.
Thank you again, Judge Martinez. We really appreciate it. And congratulations. And I call this meeting to order unless there's an objection. This is the regularly scheduled January 12th, 2026, meeting at 6:08 in Dunwoody. And Councilwoman Harris, can you lead us, please, in the invocation and the pledge?
Everyone rise if you are able, please. At this meeting, help us to make decisions which keep us faithful to our mission and reflect our values. Give us strength to hold to our purpose, wisdom to guide us, and a keen perception to lead us. And above all, keep us charitable as we deliberate. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh. Chief.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, and congratulations to your re-election swearing in. Look forward to working with you for another 4 years. At this time, I would like to call up Officer Jacorius Davis. All right, he has already hit the streets and been running. Officer Davis comes to us from the South Fulton Police Department, where he made a huge impact down there for the 3 years that he was down there, and we were fortunate to scoop him up, bring him up here to this great jurisdiction. So, Mayor, if you would please come down, we'll go ahead and get him sworn in.
If you'll raise your right hand, please. I state your name.
Jacorius Davis.
Hereby swear or affirm that I will faithfully, fairly, and without malice
Hereby swear or affirm that I will faithfully, fairly, and without malice
or partially uphold the laws of the state of Georgia,
or partially uphold the laws of the state of Georgia,
as well as any ordinances
as well as any ordinances
which I am authorized to enforce to the best of my ability,
which I am authorized to enforce to the best of my ability,
and support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of Georgia.
and the Constitution of Georgia.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. I'm gonna say a few words, but I gotta get back.
Officer Davis, we are so honored that you have chosen Dunwoody to be your professional home. We know that this is the best city to work for anywhere, but we want to continue to make it that way. So if you ever need anything, don't hesitate to reach out to myself or one of my colleagues, because we are here to serve you as you serve our community. Our Dunwoody community loves our police department, and we are so grateful for your service and the service of your colleagues. And again, thank you so much for choosing Dunwoody. We look forward to working with you and supporting you in any way you need. Thank you very much for choosing us.
At this time, Mayor and Council, I would like to call up Officer Sebastian Wright. So we have many awards in our department. And with this particular award is what we call the life-saving award. Our officers are trained, to do many things. And tonight I'm going to commend the officers and their actions and saving lives here in the city of Dunwoody. This just goes beyond what we do each and every day. Our job is not mundane in the least bit. But I definitely want to make sure that I recognize the officers that are going above and beyond the call of duty when they're out there. So I received this recommendation and I wholeheartedly approved it. This is about the recent life-saving efforts made by Officer Wright. Officers responded to 1105 Peachford Circle for a medical call. A man called 911 to report his wife unconscious and having difficulty breathing. By the time police arrived, she had stopped breathing and the husband was performing CPR. Officer Wright took over CPR compressions and continued CPR with his AED until AMR arrived and relieved him. Multiple shocks from the AED were administered, and as a result of these quick actions, the woman was able to be transported to the hospital. We go through in-service every year, and when it comes to CPR and with these life-saving devices, all of our vehicles, including mine, have an AED in them. We also have the AEDs out at the park. We have them all throughout this building, and they have proven over and over again with the great training that these officers have that another life was able to be saved with their training before the EMS could arrive. And I want to commend Officer Wright for his actions during this life-saving. So as a part of this, they do receive a medal and a pin that they affix to their uniform anytime they perform these actions. And we have officers with multiple pins that go out there. So. All right, and at this time, I would like to ask Lieutenant Curtis Clifton, Officer Eddie Estes, Officer Felipe Marino, and Officer Katie Thielman to approach the podium. So in November, responding officers were dispatched to a suicide attempt at 40 Perimeter Center Place, where a female was positioned precariously on the top ledge of a parking deck. Initial attempts to de-escalate the situation verbally were unsuccessful, and the victim threatened to jump if officers approached. Recognizing the imminent and life-threatening danger as the situation deteriorated, Lieutenant Clifton made the critical and courageous decision to rush the victim to prevent her from taking her own life. Officer Estes, Officer Marino, and Officer Thielman immediately provided support in this physical intervention. Their combined swift actions were directly responsible for pulling the victim from the ledge to safety. The decisive leadership and effective teamwork displayed by these officers were instrumental in saving a life and reflect the highest standards of our department. Their bravery and professionalism in the face of a critical incident made them highly deserving of this honor. And this was also, we have our real-time crime center was up and running, and we were having trouble locating her. So this was the parking deck over in that area, if you're familiar. The drone was deployed. Our real-time crime center was able to get these officers directed to this victim who was suffering a mental health crisis. I watched this, and probably one of the most heroic actions I've ever seen. The only thing that went over the edge was her shoe, and they were able to successfully grab her, pull her back across the parking deck so we could get her the help that she needs. They did an outstanding job, and with this, I want to give all four of them the life-saving medal.
Anybody can see you. Here we go. Congratulations.
Any other family members want to come up? Please do.
There, there is a saying that when you save a life, you save the world. And on a regular basis, Chief, our police are heroic. This is exceptional work. And to all our fine officers and leadership in the back of the room, and to your families who make it possible for you to serve us, thank you, thank you, thank you. There are no words. And thank you for recognizing them, Chief, and sharing their stories with us tonight. Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, it's time for public comment. Only have one card. If you want to make a public comment, the cards are on the back of there's a music stand, and you grab a card, and then Shayla, if you could just raise your hand, she'll take the card and bring it to me. If you could fill out a card, and we'll give everybody a second just to clear out. Okay. Zach, if you want to just make your way up. You will have 3 minutes, sir.
Thank you, Council. Happy New Year. I also want to give deepest congratulations to Council members Lautenbacher, Price, and Lambert. Thank you for serving our community. I also want to say a happy first day of the Georgia legislative session. I know a lot will be going on, but I want to give a wonderful thank you to Dunwoody and our community for uplifting me and giving me the opportunity to work under the Georgia Legislative Black Caucus. I will be working for Georgia State Senator Jaha Howard. I am excited and deeply emotional at the opportunity to learn how the sausage is made. And in many ways, the reason why I got that position was for my deep care and love for the Dunwoody community, and my deep passion. And I know that as I am there, I will also be representative of the Dunwoody community. I'm sure that many of you all will be maybe delighted to hear, but during this legislative session, as it goes on, I will not be able to give public comment as I am representing that of the Georgia Legislative Black Caucus, as well as Senator Jaha Howard. But I think that my values and my passions stand clear in that of the love of the Dunwoody community, the advancement of civil rights, and that of our community, that of the permanence, and for for all communities in our community, and that of liberation of Dunwoody's youth, women, ethnic and cultural communities as well. And so I want to come here and give a wonderful thank you to the Dunwoody community and all of its people for the opportunity, and thank you to our new council member, well, our re-elected council members as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Zach, and good luck. And if you need any advice about municipal bill issues, let us know. We're here for you. All right. I think it's Jason, and I can't read your last name, and I'm not going to butcher it. So if you'll just introduce yourself, and you'll have 3 minutes, sir.
All right, so good evening, Mayor Deutsch and City Council. I'm Jason Hunyar. My wife, Michaela, and I bought our home almost 3 years ago, or almost 2 years ago, because it's an affordable, friendly, and most importantly, safe place to raise a family. I'm concerned about the public safety of myself, other citizens of Dunwoody, our police officers, and most importantly, the safety of Michaela and my son, who is due in June. We are pro-police and want our city to continue to be a place where residents and officers can go anywhere without fear of harassment, stalking, or any sort of violence. I'm here to ask you to fundamentally change the assumption that Flock is a public safety company. In front of you, you'll find a packet of information with evidence about their intentional lack of transparency, their sole discretion to harvest raw data and update all ALPR cameras to AI video cameras, which can identify someone by race and gender, and known security failures. All of this puts the citizens of Dunwoody at risk. On the first page, and in Michaela's hands, you'll find screen caps from a YouTube video, where a YouTuber found Flock Quander cameras live streaming directly to the internet with 30 days of past footage. These cameras automatically track people and children and zoom in on them to the point where you can see what someone's watching on their phone. The faces of the people and the children were blurred not by the cameras, but rather by the YouTuber. Some of you might recognize one of the locations, which is the Peachtree Creek Greenway in Brookhaven. It's a trail that Michaela and I have walked on, and I would imagine some of you have too. How does it make you feel that when you were doing this, you could have been watched by any creep, pedophile, and criminal who has access to the internet? Now let me show you Flock's response. That's right. Flock says they've never been hacked. This is the response that they're giving to you. This is the response that they're giving to our police department and the citizens of Dunwoody. They make this statement for PR purposes while they narrowly define the definition of hacked in their own cloud system. This is one of the over 50 security failures that's been found within their devices that they refuse to acknowledge. This is the transparency you strive for. They also have exposed information about police officers, including live and historical patrol car GPS locations, body-worn camera locations, officer mobile app location data, and patrol history. This means that anyone with access to this data could already know where our officers live, spend their time, and maybe where their kids go to school. These specific vulnerabilities have gone unpatched for over 55 days since a good actor alerted Flock. Now I'd like to move on to their business model. Their business model isn't about selling cameras and crime centers to the police or stopping crime. Their business model is about collecting our data, packaging it with private data such as credit histories, social security information, property records, and data from the dark web. They can do whatever they like to with that information. We simply have the privilege of paying them to collect it. We are not the customer, we are the product. They are also making a concerted effort to hide the terms of their contracts, putting behind the URL they control. At the end of the packet, I've laid out some questions that I believe the council should ask Flock. If they're indeed a public safety company, there is no reason that they wouldn't say yes to every single one of them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That concludes and we received your presentation. That concludes public comment because I don't have any more cards. And but there'll be another section of public comment at the end of the meeting. All right, Mr. Linton, you are up.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. And once again, congratulations to the 2026 City Council. Look forward to working with each one of y'all over the years, and my staff is excited as well. We have a great staff here at the city, as y'all know, and we'll continue to strive to do our best for y'all and for the citizens of Dunwoody. The Parks Department, we have our artistic, the arbor benches have been installed at Georgetown Park, so please ride by there and take a look at those. On the 19th of January, we have our MLK Junior Day of Service. We also have the February 20th, Georgia Arbor Day planting. And then, believe it or not, Lemonade Days is just around the corner, being April 22nd through the 26th, which is always that's the biggest event here in Dunwoody. We also have department items under the swings have been replaced at Georgetown Park and Brook Run Park. We have those up to date, so they're safe and ready to use. Also, we have our new recreation software, Katzen, is scheduled to be ready for integral testing in the coming weeks. So that is something we're looking forward to changing. What we have is a little bit antiquated. The data, we have 7 memorial brick orders are in progress for the new Veterans Memorial at Brook Run Park. That was one of the things we were hoping we would get that program going again. And so now some people are starting to buy those. So please pass the word, buy a brick over at the new Veterans Memorial. Also, Placer AI statistics showed that we had a total of 65,900 visits to holiday lights during the month of December, which was a tremendous up, much more from, says up to 92% over 2024. We had great weather this year. I hope each one of y'all had an opportunity to get out there and look at those lights. It was a fantastic display this year. Under police, we had our Christmas for Kids program. That was a huge success, serving over 52 kids in the Dunwoody and DeKalb area. Children in need this year. We had customized gift and a holiday party. That's a very well received each year. In the workload activities, just want to point out a couple of things. Where, canines, here again, those are out in the community. Hank's mentioned a couple of times in here. And that's a huge program that we have. One thing we've tried to do is we involve the dogs a lot in our community service that goes out. People can meet those. We do have 3 dogs at present. We have 2 more on the way. And so that has become a very successful program for our officers. The new ones I think will be here by the end of first quarter, I believe, Chief, of this year. End of January. Thank you. End of the month. We'll have our 2 new dogs. We'll bring them here for y'all to meet. In the under the data, we have our crime stats comparison report. If you'll take a look at that link in there, it's always good data to review. Public Works, the Brook Run Maintenance Facility, the retaining wall is completed. Most of the grading is completed, and the stormwater is completed. The footings are poured for the warehouse building. Also, the old spring house path, the retaining wall has been completed. Stormwater pipes installed. It's nearing completion. We have the curb and gutter has been completed on the south side of the road. Upcoming events, we have a couple of public meetings. We have the Winter's Chapel Path Phase 2, which will be from 5 to 7 on February the 12th. And we also have our Village Crossing Project public meeting on the 3rd of March from 5 to 7. That location is to be determined. The other one is going to be at the Winter's Chapel United Methodist Church. We have the Meadow Lane Road Streetlight Project. Georgia Power is setting the basis for those poles. I know that was a big initiative that the council had. That was one segment of roadway in this area that was not lit, and that's happening soon. Also, the Ashford Dunwoody Path Phase 2 right-of-way acquisition is ongoing for 5 parcels south of Meadow Lane Road. So we're working on extending the Ashford Dunwoody Path. I see when I drive through there, I see quite a few people on that path, and you'll notice out front of City Hall, there's a tremendous amount of foot traffic and bicycle traffic, scooters and everything that enjoys the Ashford Dunwoody corridor. Under communications, the winter 2026 Dunwoody Digest arrived in mailboxes. We also have it on social media. We have the Inside Dunwoody, which also has a preview of what's to come in 2026. Click on that link, please. Also, community development. Residents will be invited to share their preferences for future development of Georgetown at the Georgetown Small Area Plan Open House on the 21st of January. That's going to be held at the Annex Building at 4470 North Shallowford Road. There are a few statistics in the department. 113 permit applications in December, issued 98 permits. The building division completed 432 inspections. So those are good signs right there that people continue to have interest in building in the community. Also, code enforcement continues to do their work. They removed 75 illegal signs from the right of way, 56 code violations our warnings were issued. Our main goal, as y'all know, in code enforcement is compliance. We want to bring people into compliance to get rid of the violation and have people meet our codes. Erosion control inspections also continue to occur within that department, 77 of those. We also, under economic development, kicked off the implementation of the Urban Land Institute, ULI, recommendations for Dunwoody Village with the Development Authority. Under finance, we have our fourth quarter American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA report is due to the Treasury Department at the end of this month, and we're well underway on that. One thing that was left over under information technology from our employee luncheon was Ryan Riggs received the Employee of Distinction Award within that department. So congratulations to Ryan for that. Under human resources, we've completed and onboarded 9 city hall positions approved by the council. They were converted from consulting positions. So they're not new positions. They were converted in. And then the other 3 positions are onboarded in January the 2nd. So we had some started, like I said, right there at the end of the year, and those are now on board with us here at the city. But that concludes the report. If I have any questions, I'm here as well as my staff to answer any questions y'all may have.
Anybody have questions? Stacy, go ahead.
I just had a couple comments I wanted to make. First of all, the holiday lights at Brook Run knocked it out of the park. I was actually listening to some of my friends in the neighborhood talk yesterday, and one of them had taken her family to the Atlanta Botanical Gardens, and the next night they went to Brook Run, and they really wondered why they had spent the money to go to the Botanical Gardens. So next year might have to up the game a little bit, even more. But I will say, Rachel and your staff, I mean, I know there were some hiccups in the beginning, but I know that a 92% increase according to Place AI is absolutely amazing. And I know my 2 grown kids, when we went, they were like, well, Dunwoody didn't have this when we were growing up, Mom. And it's like, so I just thank you for that. It's been great. If you haven't watched the YouTube video from the police with their partnership with Target and Elevate City Church, if you do watch it, I don't know, I had some stuff coming from my eyes. I don't, but so thank you to the police for partnering with that. It was really heartfelt and touching to watch that. And to our communications department, I know the Holiday HQ was a project and a lift, and I think it was really successful, and thank you for doing all of that.
Joe.
Thank you. I want to just echo what they said about the Holiday headquarters as well. I know we're going to have our city council strategic planning retreat coming up soon, and I heard it's been amazing. I went over to Ravinia, the Parkwoods area. It was amazing. They said they had like double the amount of people attending and so on. So it's definitely getting a lot of great traction and stuff. So I understand, council's not part of it, but there's a lot of parts to this, a lot of folks involved. I know it's under Michael Starling, Economic Development. Is he really the lead staff member for the Holiday headquarters, or is it a hybrid?
Hybrid.
Okay. And I know we've got our Discover Dunwoody and all the other community partners as well, but I'm personally going to be asking our council to say, the holiday lights, let's take it up and see where we can go with it around Jet Ferry, Winter's Chapel, getting in the perimeter area. Right. That's a great opportunity. Let's see if we can get the PCID on board, Perimeter Mall on board. But we need to get that stuff in line before June, I think, to buy that stuff. Right. So I'm totally on board with that. We've got this hotel motel tax. We have this third bucket that can go toward beautification, and that's a legitimate use. Right. So I totally support making a mid-year budget adjustment to keep this moving forward, right? So hats off to staff and all of our partners to do that. 2 questions under Public Works, just a clarification on the Mount Vernon at Tilly Mill Road project. It says construction plans have been submitted to the utilities for final coordination before bidding in January. So the question is, bidding in January, I didn't send an email. Does that mean is that final construction bid? What's the bid? Is that the whole enchilada? What's that part?
Yes, it's construction bidding. Right now we're waiting on final plans on the water main from DeKalb. We expect to get those anytime, and assuming that those are all in good shape and ready to go, then we would bid it out at the end of the month.
End of the month. And then you'd expect then, once you guys select the final and present to council, when do you think that would be by?
March.
Okay, right, by March, back up to council. Okay, while you're here, I didn't hear about the Village Crossing project. It says a public meeting in March 3rd. That's pretty far in advance, but what is the nuanced, public facing, I'm not sure what we're presenting there, what that objective is, just curious.
Just nothing has really changed as far as the plan y'all have seen before and the public has seen before, but this is just a public meeting required as part of the GDOT process.
Okay, great. All right, thanks, Michael. Thank you, Eric. Thank you.
Go ahead, Rob.
Just one quick question, since you're, if we get an update on the schedule for the Brook Run Maintenance Facility, when's our kind of our target date to have that done?
Spring,
Spring,
we're planning to be, have it all completed this spring.
And the reason I ask is I have gotten, some people have reached out to ask me about the parking issue at Homecoming Park, which is, I believe, related to that, because that's where all the people working on are parked. So that just gives me some information I can.
Right, yeah, the project's on schedule and be completed this spring, and we'll be ready to move in.
So you mean like this April, or you
Yes.
mean June 15th?
April, May, not
Okay.
June.
So and this is feedback for Rachel too, since you brought it up, it's starting to look pretty bad at Homecoming. If there's anything we can do differently to make it look less like it, because we communicate, but you don't reach most of the people. So the snark about it, we bought it to be a parking lot, the whatever, but it's just a ton of vehicles. Are really that many vehicles every day at Brook Run normally? I don't know. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I mean, because it's the parks, public works and stormwater maintenance. So I think it's close to 30 people.
Okay. All right, well, it is what it is, I guess, but it looks pretty bad. It's temporary. It's just been a long temporary. And so is the park going to be ready for Lemonade Days?
When's Lemonade Days? Early April?
No, late April.
Late April.
It'll be right around that time, I think.
Okay, because that usually is about 50,000 people. I think I'm not probably exaggerating a little bit. I think if you aren't having meetings already, Eric, about Lemonade Days and the park's readiness, you
Right.
should.
Absolutely. We've started on that.
Okay. All right, thank you. I wrote down my question. It's really for Richard McLeod. Is he here? Can't see. I could look this up, but why? So the Georgetown Gateway, it includes North Shaliford? I can't remember what the map looked like.
Yes, it's that whole sub area.
Right.
Goes all the way from
That's what I thought.
to First Baptist.
And
Does
this
not include First Baptist.
meeting is a drop-in meeting.
Yes.
Okay, and is it going to be like many of our other drop-in meetings where people will have something to look at and get
Yes.
feedback on?
Yes. and they can-
Okay,
And we're also going to post it online for people who can't get there. The visuals will be online, and we're going to keep it open for
to-
about a month.
oh, good, to get feedback, okay. And will the images show some of the public work improvements planned for like North Shaliford already?
Probably not.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right, anybody else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Eric. All right. Sharon, whenever you're ready. Wait, that's next, right? Public hearings, right?
The next item is a public hearing item, an ordinance to amend the conditions of zoning of lot parcel number 18-347-01013, 18-347-01021, and 18-347-01028 in consideration of a special land use permit SLUP 25-04 at 84 Perimeter Center East.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. So the next two public hearings on the agenda are associated. They're both for the same property. So what I'm about to say applies to both of the items. The applicant did express earlier today that they would like to request deferral. I'll let them speak to that a little bit more. If you all decide to defer the public hearing, then we'll defer the public hearing to a specified date and time. But if you do wish to proceed with the public hearing tonight, then I'll come back and I'll give a full presentation. But I just want to be cognizant of everyone's time in that regard. So.
Good evening, Den Webb, 1105 West Peachtree Street, Atlanta, Georgia, 30319 or 30309 here on behalf of the applicant. I was surprised by the option of deferral, and I'm sure you are too, and I want to explain why. I mean, I got up this morning, got ready for this hearing again. I am fully prepared to move forward, but there's an opportunity that's arisen here. For the first time in years, there is a developer who has expressed interest in the multifamily senior piece and has indicated to Mr. DiGiovanni that they are going to be making an offer this week. But importantly, they have indicated that they want some say in the site plan as they move forward. And if we move forward tonight on the first reading, then we go on the clock, right? We have to have the second reading within a certain period of time. And should this application be denied, we again would be prevented from moving forward with a major modification to support our potential buyer of the senior multifamily. So again, I'm surprised by it as well, but I think this is an important request. Obviously, we spent a lot of time on this. We all have spent a lot of time on this, including staff, but it's an important piece of property. It's an important project. This has been a difficult time to try and develop something like this. And this is an opportunity that I think gives Dunwoody what it really wants on this site, and we don't want to blow it. So that is the basis for the request.
Okay, don't go anywhere, please. All right, so we've deferred this already.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know how many times, but more
Twice.
Twice. As well as had multiple hearings on this. You know, we've rezoned it and different things. This sounds like this potentially is the old project, but maybe with new site design. Or maybe they just want the zoning, maybe they would just accept what we've already approved. What happens if you just withdraw and start over? Or not, that they may not need to start over, right? Because they may have the zone. Otherwise, I think we have to at least have the hearing today because we have advertised it multiple times and not had the hearing. And so do you want to consult with your client? I feel like if they're going to accept what we've already approved and it's fine, or they want to come in and when they own it and do their own modification process, that's fine too. But to tell the public we're going to do this over and over again and not do it, I don't think, I mean, I'm one of 7, but I'm not sure. Here comes, oh, I thought Richard was coming to talk to me. No, he's coming to talk to the attorney. But it's just a thought.
No.
You can make
I understand that request, and I'm not sure we're ready to make that decision, right? I mean, we really aren't. This offer, there is a 1-page letter of intent that is being delivered now, and I think within 30 days we'll know whether we can move forward or not. My impression is we just need a little bit of time. I think in 30 days we'll know the direction we need to head. And again, I hear what you're saying. I'm frustrated a little bit by it. I know the staff is, but the reality is this has not been an easy piece of property to develop, and it's not been an easy time to try and do it. This is the piece that Dunwoody's always wanted.
Mm-hmm.
It's the piece that they asked the applicant to pursue 5 years ago. And we finally, for the first time in a very long time, have an opportunity to potentially do something with it. And this request really comes from the purported buyer.
Okay. John, did you have something?
Yeah, this property's come in front of us a number of times, and I noticed in this week's packet that may be missing site plans, site drawings. Is that correct, staff or Den?
We have a fully baked site plan. We actually have had to modify quite a bit to deal with the issues that staff has raised in the staff report over the last couple months. We have renderings for the Portillos, but what we don't have is a site-specific site plan. And I'll tell you why that is. Portillo's is still on board here, but they've seen what's been happening with some of the other applicants in the last couple of months. And I think they've gotten reluctant to commit more dollars until they have some clarity as to whether this is a realistic project or not.
I guess my thinking is that you're asking for one more deferral, and I'm I'm personally okay with one more deferral, but I also want a complete packet with a way forward in the very near future. Again, we have changed this for seniors to apartments to condo to back again, and we've changed it a number of times. I'm looking for something concrete for us to move forward with. It sounds like you're promising us that in the near future.
Well, we're gonna have to make.
You're gonna have
decisions.
discussions with
Yeah,
your own.
exactly. We're gonna have to, we need to do something with this, but right now, because of this opportunity and the fact that it's new and it's exciting, frankly, and it's an opportunity that has not been here for many years, we're just asking for some grace to see if this is gonna work.
I am one of 7, but with the grace by myself, I also would like to see hard and fast site plans the next time you come to us. So
Fair
I mean,
enough.
full project ready to go. But that's me.
I'm also willing to give some grace. So just looking at the calendar, you said 30 days. The next one is February 9th. Do you want the 9th or the 23rd? And I would also ask, if we give you this grace, you have to be ready. Like you have to be ready then.
That's fair. Mr. DiGiovanni indicated that 23rd would be preferable. That we'll know then. And I hear what you're saying. I'm ready to move forward now.
I mean, you can go later because we're essentially saying we're going to give you the grace, but you need to be ready.
I hear you. You're talking about February 23rd.
February 23rd.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that'll work.
Or I mean, you can go into March. But from my point of view, and I think from John's point of view, when you, whatever we give you, when you come with us again, you better be ready. Otherwise, go ahead, Rob.
Go ahead, Rob.
I'm also willing to defer. I am curious though, if there's anyone here that was planning to speak at the public hearing tonight, just raise your hand, just so I know if we're denying someone their opportunity to share their thoughts. All right, that's.
Madam Mayor, I was going to suggest opening up the
Yeah.
floor, see if anybody wants to.
I would have done that. Well, maybe. Yes, I would have done that. Tom.
Yeah, I'll just kind of piggyback a little bit on what John was saying. You said there's full-blown site plans. I didn't see that, at least in comparison to what we had when this came before us in 2021. The site plan was a layered site plan, meaning there was multi-levels to this with different floors. So there was 0, 1, 2, 3. So we saw what was happening at every level, which included amenities and plazas and other things, other features to this. All we got was a level 0, like ground level site plan. So I want a complete packet when this comes back. I'd like to see, similar to what we had the last time, the layered site plan, as well as elevations and renderings that are also absent that we continue to ask for every time this comes in and continue to never get. So getting a little fatigue.
I hear you. One thing to mention, by the way, is when we started this process, there were 2 requests. Number one, we wanted to add other uses to the multifamily building. And then we wanted the drive-through for the Portillos. We're not making the first request anymore. We actually decided to go back to the senior. So one reason we don't have as much information about the multifamily building is because we left that as is. So tonight, at least, all we're really here to talk about is the SLUP for the Portillo's restaurant and a major modification, which would just substitute the old site plan for the one showing the new one. But I hear what you're saying. We are pushing, but to be honest, I mean, some of the other applications that have come through in the last few months have spooked Portillo's a little bit. And I think that's concerned them towards spending some money. But I'm going to push. But I am excited about this opportunity. It actually started, I got the first phone call on it a couple months ago. And so this has been going on, but it's heated up. And, that would allow this development to really take place essentially all as one, right? And you deliver not just the retail piece and part of a parking deck, but maybe all of it at once. And that's really the best case scenario.
Okay. I wanted to ask somebody from community development, Madeline, maybe. Has Portillo's come in and met with anyone in the city of Dunwoody?
So last year, I believe there were some representatives with Portillo's that we had spoke to, but not recently.
So they've not contacted you about this application
No,
or
ma'am.
this use?
That's not, they did come in.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they came in last year, closer to the
Okay.
filing, but not in the past couple of months.
And Okay. All right. So there was just confirming no one was here to speak for or against this application? Okay,
Madam
Yes.
Mayor, just go ahead and open up the public hearing and see if anybody wants to speak and then
Okay.
close it.
all right. Even though we didn't have the presentation? Okay, whatever. All right. Unless there's an objection, I'm opening the public hearing. Seeing none see no objection, the public hearing is open. Would anyone like to speak for this application? There'll be 10 minutes for people to speak for it. Seeing none, I look for anyone who would like to speak against this application. Seeing none, I close the public hearing. That's what you want to write. All right, so now,
Now, if there's a substantial change in the application, we need to have another public hearing. I want to make sure that's clear. I just wanted to give an
Right.
opportunity for the public, if they did come, to be here.
right. Go ahead.
And just a question, since there are two SLUPs, do we technically need to have? I'm just making sure that we're.
Yeah, no, we
dotting all
have
the
to
i's.
do what we're doing on the item number 5 before we get to item number 6. John, go ahead.
Yeah, this really is, I guess, for Madeline, based on the current discussion of a date in the future to have this hearing again. What are the advertising requirements for the next public hearing? Are they able to be made in a timely fashion?
So because it's a continuance of the public hearing, we don't have to re-advertise.
We're going to re-advertise and have a public hearing if the application is substantially altered in any way. We just opened a public hearing because the public has been given, the public has rights too. They've been given notice several times. This has changed, this has evolved. But as far as y'all are concerned, I want notice and a public hearing, whatever we're going to do with this application, both 5 and 6.
So for February 23rd, let me pull up I have my calendar right here. Yes, I have enough time to advertise.
Thank you.
Can I piggyback John's question real quick?
Yes.
Do we have enough time to figure out what we're advertising?
I believe so. I would advertise it for the SLUP and the rezoning.
Okay.
Let me ask another question of the applicant, which is that you have someone interested? Are they interested because there's something in the process? Like that this could or could not be granted a SLUP? Or are they interested in what we approved how many years ago? 4 years ago? Or you don't know yet? Because we've approved something that we approved, that we worked really hard on, if I recall correctly, to get it approved.
Yeah, I think, I don't know that we fully know the answer to that, but they are aware of what was approved.
Okay,
I can say that.
all right, okay. All right, so we're either gonna have staff presentations or somebody's got to make a motion to defer.
Move to defer item number 5 to this February 23rd meeting
And advertise for purposes.
and
of public-
advertise this for
Purposes of public hearing.
purposes of public hearing.
First read. Okay. We have to do them separate, I think, so. All right, so there's a motion on the floor. So moved by Councilwoman Harris, second by Councilman Hennigan. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I call the question. All in favor of deferring until February 23rd, say aye. Any opposed? Me. So it's 6-1. All right, now, the second one, I'm gonna not have a staff presentation. I'm going to, unless someone wants a staff presentation, I'm gonna treat it the same way I treated the last one. And I'm gonna open the public hearing. If there's, oh, Sharon needs to read it. Thank you, sorry, thank you. Moving along.
The next item is an ordinance to amend the zoning conditions of lot parcel number 18-347-01013, 18-347-01021, and 18-347-01028 in consideration of zoning case RZ 25-05 for 84 Perimeter Center East.
Okay, is there anyone here first, thank you. I need to open the public hearing. Unless there's an objection, the public hearing is open. Would anyone like to speak for this application? There'll be 10 minutes for it. Seeing none, I look to see if anyone would like to speak against this application. There will be up to 10 minutes. Seeing no one, I close the public hearing unless there's an objection. All right, does anyone have any questions for staff on this issue?
I would just like to put on the record, the applicant has asked for deferral on this part too until the same date.
All right, so the applicant has asked for a deferral, which is gonna be, so this is we need a motion.
Move to defer item number 6 to the February 23rd meeting to include and advertise for a public hearing.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Harris, second by Councilman Seconder. Any further discussion or questions or comments? Seeing none, I call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Me. Thank you. We will see you back on February 23rd.
Thank you. If I could have a moment, I want to thank you for the consideration. I also want to congratulate those who got reelected. I feel like I know you all very well. And hopefully 2026 is the year for all of us. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, consent agenda. Does anyone have any questions or comments on any of the items? Catherine?
I do. A question about the Sunbelt traffic for signal maintenance. We didn't get any cost. I mean,
Oh, we didn't.
no, I was presuming it was, well, I'll let Michael tell us.
It's a unit price contract and it will just continue at those same rates. So it's not a fixed cost. It's just based on the number of hours and materials they use per month. And it's all unit rates and those are staying the same for the 3-month extension.
Oh, okay. So if you don't use them, it's zero.
Right.
Is that really it? Okay. All right. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Move to approve.
Moved by Tom,
Second.
second by Rob. Any further discussion or questions? Seeing none, I call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that carries unanimously. Can I do the next one, Sharon? The Mayor Pro Tem election. It has my name next to it. Okay, you don't need to read it. Okay, it is time to elect the Mayor Pro Tem. I can't be it. So I'll open the floor for nominations. Councilman Lautenbacher, I see you.
Mayor, I would like to nominate Councilman Tom Lambert to continue in the role of Mayor Pro Tem for the next 2 years.
Second.
Wait, I don't think that it needs a second.
That was a nomination.
That was a nomination. Don't confuse me. Right. Would anyone else like to nominate someone or themselves? All right, seeing none, I guess I close the nominations. All in favor of Councilman Lambert serving as Mayor Pro Tem, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, you are reelected, sir. Congratulations. Right or wrong?
Karen, get to read this one.
The next item under business is contract with GC&E Systems Group to install access control and security cameras for the Brook Run Maintenance Facility. Michael Smith.
Okay, GC&E has a statewide contract for installing security systems and controls. They also have done all of our other facilities. So IT worked with them to put together the what would be needed for the new facility. This will cover all the cameras, the interior door controls like here at City Hall, exterior, the security gate, all of those things. So they've proposed using the statewide contract. They've provided a quote of $52,599. When the construction contract was approved. There was $55,000 allocated in the overall budget for this item. And so we're within budget and are recommending approval so they can, once the buildings are done, they'll go in and put in the security systems.
I just have a quick question. Will your badge here work over there too, or is it gonna have to be a separate badge system, or is that like TBD?
I think it will work as long as, you can grant different people different levels of access. So yes, I think the same badges will work everywhere if you have the access.
I'm sorry, John.
Michael, does this contract include maintenance? Let's say the skate park at Brook Run, there's cameras and access there. Who's doing the maintenance on that facility?
I think Rachel is gone, but I'm not, I think they do our maintenance too. This contract does not include ongoing maintenance, but I think if something goes out with a card reader or we have a problem,
I'm not so worried about a card reader. I guess I'm just looking for the video cameras. I was in the skate park the other day because I go there on a pretty regular basis. And the facility manager was explaining to me about activities within the facility. And I just want to verify that we have good camera coverage, and maybe even that camera coverage, does it go to the police feed, our center, Eric? Does it go into the city hall? I just want to make sure there's good maintenance on the cameras that are in the skate park because it's highly used, and for the safety of our citizens and the manager mentioning something to me, I want to make sure I follow up.
Okay, yeah, we'll check with Rachel. The chief's nodding that they do get the feeds back here for the cameras. So
Great. Thank you so very much.
Let me ask a question about the cameras. So the cameras that we're talking about they're all internal?
yes, they would just be like security cameras for the maintenance facility. So, not throughout the park, just inside the maintenance facility.
Okay, well, I will add to John's question. Is this a closed system? As in, does anybody else have access to the skate park cameras or the,
I think just our police.
But I think they have to pull them up, right? These are not, Chief can tell us. I think if something happens, they have to go back and look. It's not like a live.
Yeah, it's a live feed that's not recorded. So
Right.
It's just one of our many cameras. We can put it up on our real-time crime center.
It's not recorded?
Not recorded, no.
So if something happens, you can't go back and look.
I'm sorry, the GC&E, yes, I'm confusing that with our flock cameras.
Okay.
Yes, those are recorded.
Okay.
So yes, I believe it's 30-day retention period on it.
Right, because they're not. Okay.
Yeah.
again, the question is it a closed system? Can external agencies?
Hi,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's Ginger. I'm remote right now. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, hello. How's it going? So the cameras inside the facility, the maintenance facility, would be part of our Genetech system. That's the indoor system. It is internal to us. The cameras that would be at the skating system, that's completely separate. That's the flock system. So they have two different systems being run. But the ones that we're talking about today are the maintenance building, and those would be internal only, and it would be inside the maintenance facility.
Did that answer your question?
It answered the question of the building isn't the question if it's their internal cameras. The question is external cameras and who's in that park. It's kids and who has access to that video. That'll be maybe for the flock.
Yeah, I think,
Flock.
I think that's a different,
It's not today's issue.
right.
It's not flock though. The maintenance
No,
facility is
no.
not flock.
No.
I had one question.
Okay, Joe.
So Michael, I was going to ask you, but it's not, you verbally stated, it wasn't in the staff memo. My question was going to be, who's used this system before and do they have references and so on? So just to reiterate, what this company, what buildings, so what do we use them for today?
Ginger can track all of our security, I think.
So for today, they do the annex, they do some of Sproul Arts Center, they do the city hall And we have a couple of cameras here and there kind of spread out that they do as well, but we have been working with them for 5 years now at least.
Okay, so that's a good lead in for me to understand the background because I wasn't familiar. I thought this was like another vendor or so on. So it's referenceable, it works, and only we have and for the security cameras, that's just an internal, meaning the city of Dunwoody employees or city of Dunwoody contractors only would have access to those cameras and that data. Is that correct, Ginger?
That is correct. Anything on our Genetech system is specifically stored on site, on premise, and only people with certain access levels have access to that.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
John.
Ginger, I'd like you to repeat what you said regarding the skate park. What are the cameras there and how is it different from the system? I just want to make sure I understand what you said.
So the cameras at the skate park would be flock cameras, and I don't have the specifics for the flock camera system.
Those are indoor?
Those are the external cameras. I don't know which cameras we have at the skate park specifically. That's the police department manages the external cameras.
I was wondering about the internal cameras.
I'm not familiar with any internal cameras.
All right, thank you.
Maybe we don't have indoor cameras in the skate park. Eric, you gonna be on this? What do we have in terms of cameras at the skate park? Inside, can you find out?
Yeah, we would, absolutely.
Okay, just chief know?
Inside.
The building, there's a building at the skate park.
Not in the building, no.
We don't have any cameras.
That is correct. Not inside the building. It's just the exterior looking into the park. I don't know how many flock cameras we have, but they're the pan, tilt, zoom cameras that we have, condors.
But those are outside,
Outside, yes, ma'am.
not inside. Okay. Right, okay. Right, this is an action item.
Move to approve.
Moved by Rob, second by John. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously.
Thank you.
All right, Michelle.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Happy New Year. I'm here to present the North Peachtree Road Safe Routes to School project. So this project was first identified or it was identified in the Road Safety Action Plan as a multimodal project to construct shared use path and sidewalk along the corridor. So the project history, after the adoption of the Road Safety Action Plan in 2023, the city applied for a SS4A grant for this project to construct the shared use path. This was not successful. And so in March of 2025, one of the items that were discussed was at council retreat was improving the pedestrian facility along the corridor to the elementary school to support the safe routes to school. Currently, the sidewalks out there, they vary in width from 4 to 5 feet, and we have some areas with very narrow landscape buffers to the travel lanes. In June of 2025, the city contracted with KCI to analyze the corridor and prepare a concept layout to design the sidewalk on the east side. We wanted to ensure that any improvements that were made, that they would not affect the construction of the future shared use path. So we tasked KCI with conceptually laying out both the shared use path and the sidewalk. So while this concept was in design and they were analyzing, the city applied for a transportation alternative program grant, a TAP grant, for design and right-of-way acquisition for the whole corridor. So that would be the shared use path and the sidewalk on the east side. This was a successful grant. We were awarded this grant in November of 2025. So based off of this new award, the city essentially has two options on how to move forward along this corridor to construct the shared use path and the sidewalk. So the first option would be to use the TAP grant to design and acquire right-of-way for the shared use path and the sidewalk from Cotillion up to Barclay at Brook Run Park. So the grant award was for 2.55 million with a $640,000 local match. As the project moves further into design, the city plans to request additional federal funding to cover the construction cost. So based off of high level concept, the construction is anticipated to cost about 4.9 million total, which translates to about 3.92 million in federal money and an additional $980,000 in local match. And so with this, the construction is anticipated for 2032. So we all know that federal
Michelle.
process is really long. Oh,
Can you go just back to that last slide to show you the two different rows
yeah.
of the
Oh,
different?
sorry, wrong way. Yep.
So, okay,
So the
two rows, I'm looking just at the total though. So the totals are correct. The total, the last row is correct with the total numbers cost.
the
So,
8 million total.
yeah,
Yes. So for PE and right of way and construction total, it would be 8.09 million.
yeah, okay.
So because the federal process is so lengthy, we also considered a second option, and that would be to phase the project. So the first phase being reconstructing the sidewalk from on the east side from Cotillion up to the elementary school, and this is really to support the safe routes to school. And then the second phase would be the federal project, which would be the shared use path and then the remaining sidewalk from the elementary school up to Brook Run Park at Barclay. So you can see from this map right here, the first phase is in orange and the remaining phases are in green. So then to have a kind of breakdown of option two, because this is a little more complicated. So KCI did provide a final design cost proposal for 165,000. That coupled with the right-of-way acquisition estimate for cost and the construction estimate for cost, we would require a project budget of about 1.1 million to construct the sidewalk from Cotillion to the elementary school. And we could anticipate starting construction in 2028. So while that's happening, we would also still be working on the federal project. So that would look at the remaining sidewalk from the elementary school up to Brook Run Park, and then also the shared use path on the west side. So the phase two side of things would be the design and right of way would still utilize the TAP grant. And would require an additional federal dollars of 3.36 million for construction with 840,000 in a local match. So then your total comes out to be 8.49 million for the project cost. And I have a kind of a comparison on the next slide to help compare the two options. So option one essentially is the full corridor using the TAP grant and all federal funding. So that total cost is 8.09 million. We are looking at about 6.47 in federal dollars and would require a city match of 1.62 million, but construction would not be able to start until 2032. In option two, which is the phased option, the total estimated cost is 8.49 million, with the federal share being 5.91 million and 2.58 million in city. So it's about a $960,000 difference between the two options. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, so this doesn't work for me at all, and it's not personal, but it doesn't work. And so, first of all, we don't have to go all the way to Cotillion. There's nobody that lives at that gas station. We need to start at the apartment complex driveway. So that probably will save you a little bit of money. I know that maybe that was the easiest part because maybe there's a lot of right of way there. I don't know. But a couple things. One is that we've been talking about this on and off for a long time. And we need to find a way to get to yes and to get to yes quickly. So if it's a budget issue, you need to bring that to us, I think. I mean, I'm one of 7, but we need to figure out how to do that segment where children are standing on a 2.5-foot piece.
The east side.
Yeah, the east side, which is what this is, right? The
Yes.
phase 1. if we
Phase
d-
2 is the east, would be doing the east side first from, and.
Phase
I
2,
use-
right.
Yes, and I use Cotillion, but I mean, we could do it from the
Right,
apartments,
'cause
Dunwoody
it's-
Village Apartments, which is just 1 block up
Right.
from
but
that point.
It's a
for the
hill.
elementary school.
Right.
But
It's
then
a
it also
hill.
stops at Chestnut, so that eliminates all the walkers coming from the north-south to Chestnut until the project is completed.
Right. So we need to somehow, maybe we need to figure this out because I think there's some critical safety issues that we've been talking about for a lot of years. I mean, they may close Chestnut before we ever get this done, which is a whole nother issue.
So phase 2 would
So-
allow us to do the sidewalk portion earlier than 2032. I mean, we would still need to go through design and right-of-way
Right.
acquisition. It still needs easements. So we're looking at the, end of 27, early 28 for construction to start. So that would the option 2. So that would be at the additional about $1 million cost.
So I'm gonna kind of rephrase it so I understand. So option 2, fine, we'll do the east side sidewalk first. And you're saying even if we threw as much money as we wanted to at it, just because of the right of way and the design, it's not construction really logistically could not start before 2028 because of all that has to be done
I mean,
before construction starts.
yes, I mean, the majority of it is gonna be the right-of-way acquisition. Like, we're gonna still need to get a good many of easements, not right-of-way itself, but just like temporary easements to construct the sidewalk.
If I had my druthers, I'd want the east side of sidewalk done from the apartment complex all the way up to close to Brook Run if I had my druthers. And that would be
Support
the
federal
ideal.
school.
The problem that I see is that we're also chasing federal money. We've been approved for a federal grant, correct?
Yes.
And that's all on the west side.
It was for the whole corridor, so it was for the sidewalk and the shared use path, but if we pull this section out, then we would obviously not apply that money to it. I mean, we would use the local dollars.
Could we use the federal grant money for just the east side now? Because again, I'm not sure, honestly, I don't know how many federal grants are coming in the near future. I mean, you have aspirations that we're getting more federal money, and I'm not sure that's happening.
So we can, but then it comes with a lengthy process, because once you use the federal money, you have to follow the federal guidelines, and then that's the 5 years for design and
Okay.
right-of-way acquisition. So if we want to do something quicker, then we'd have to do something on the local, using local funds and our local process.
So maybe that's our aspiration, is to figure out how much it would cost to go up to the middle school, maybe the park. Because
Well, if you think about it, if we take away that section from Cotillion,
Right, maybe
and then
it's- right.
it would be close. So
Right.
you're still looking about $1 million difference between your two options.
Right.
So you're looking, I mean, and these are all estimates based
Right.
off of, our concept right now of what we're thinking we'll need about 1.1 additional dollar. I mean, 1.1 million for the project budget for the
Okay.
sidewalk.
So go ahead, Don.
Well, I was also trying to think of the topography. The south end of North Peachtree has more topography in the sense of retaining walls right along the sidewalk, which would have to be dug back. That's more work, but that's all on the south side. Once you get past Chestnut, there are no retaining walls. It's all relatively
Mhm.
flat. And again, it should be relatively inexpensive to put a new sidewalk where a sidewalk already is. It's just you're widening it another foot or two. Again, I'm just trying to understand the big
So
cost.
we are widening a couple of extra feet, and then we're also adding in a wider landscape buffer, but we are also we're resetting the curb line to use that bike lane that's there too, for the future, because we'll have a shared use path in the future.
Right. I think we have to find a way, at least, so I'm not counting on any future federal grants for stuff. And as a reminder, knock on every surface I can find, we don't actually have the safety data that says if I'm prioritizing projects at the federal level, that we may not score so high depending on who our competition is, right? Because we didn't get, I mean, part of the reason it was clear once we saw who won, I can't go backwards. Oh, I can go backwards on my own. In 2024, when we didn't get that, the people that won had solid data. The communities that won the grants had data that showed these corridors, had terrible things happening. And so I feel like I think we have a shared objective to do something in this corridor that doesn't involve federal money because we need to get it done. And even if the federal money, and $1 million is a lot of money, make no mistake, but maybe we can find $1 million, or especially over the next couple of years, to get this done, Eric. I mean, maybe that's how we need to approach this conversation. I don't know how anybody else feels, but maybe how we approach this conversation is this is a priority. Let's see if we can really do it in the next couple of years. If we need $1 million, we'll go ahead. I mean, I think that 2032 is a long way away with no guarantee of any federal money anyway. I know that in the past, I'm sorry to interrupt, when you get those grants, you get more grants, but we are in a whole different world right now.
Sure. Well, and just so you know, the TAP grant program is very competitive also, and we were awarded, so that's a very good sign on our part. I did want to point out that that would be $1 million difference, right, between the two options, and it's about $1 million for us to construct the east side sidewalk, but total, like for the quarter, we would still need the 2.6 million total by 2032. Just to support the match of the grant too. So that makes sense.
Go ahead, Joe.
Thanks. I got a few questions and comments. Kingsley did a Safe Routes to School sidewalk grant back in 2008. Did that take 5 years to build? Was that going through federal process? I know this is pre your time, but what kind of money was that? Where'd that come from?
It was hell of a project. It was terrible.
Okay. All right. So the 5 year thing. I want to also just make a comment. I have some other questions too. Fed grants, when we talk about feds, remember the Safe Streets for All grants was the first time ever that municipalities could apply directly to the presidential administration, directly to the Department of Transportation versus going through the states or the regional MPO. So remember that we use what's called formula funding. It's spread out by the states. When you think federal funding going away, the feds have to stop funding the state of Georgia first. And they're not doing that. Okay. So right now, Michelle, Michael, you guys are the experts in this, but this is my understanding. I learned last year how it's called formula funding. So please don't think that federal funding is going away. The allocation process is through the ARC, right? We submit through the ARC. Yes, it's funds from the feds and we have to follow the Fed process, but isn't it, Michelle, really ARC and GDOT is granting the federal funding for us?
So for this grant, it was actually applied straight to GDOT. It used to be through ARC and now it's through GDOT. And so I'm not sure why that changed, but I will say, I mean, ARC has several solicitations open, several opportunities to apply for federal money. So I don't know if that would continue to happen on this regular basis. Like right now they have the 2026 solicitation open. So I don't know what the future of federal money is, but it doesn't appear to be slowing down, but I also don't have my 8 ball right now.
I get it. So a question, again, well, bear with me, I got a few things. The sidewalk width, how wide were we gonna go on the east side? What was that gonna be?
6.
Nice. And we're gonna have a landscape buffer between the curb about how?
I mean, we'll have a buffer.
Because right now there's like not even a buffer.
Yeah,
on
and
certain parts.
we have 3 to 5 feet in some areas, and so what we will be able to plant there would depend on the width.
Yeah, but we can get a buffer. That's
Yes,
important.
we'll have a buffer.
So I'm also the hybrid option. I'm calling for an option 3, the phase 2 or whatever, option 2 without the west side path, local funds only, east side. Let me ask you, didn't we set aside, I looked in our CIP right now, the 2026 CIP does not, I looked on our budget that we approved, I looked for North Peachtree sidewalks. I thought we had put down 500K or something. Didn't we set aside?
We had
Was that
some
just in the recent?
ARPA money set aside for it, so we have about $400,000 in ARPA money.
But it's not in the CIP.
No,
No, because we just never moved the money into the CIP.
Okay, it was 400K?
Yeah, so does
Okay, I
that
thought it
mean
was
we only need
500.
7?
I thought we took some of our excess capital.
Well, we talked, what John said when we were talking about it and what we all kind of agreed upon was we weren't going to spend every cent of our excess so that we could allocate it to things like this potentially.
All right, okay, all right. All right, so that's
Or
out
an
there. Okay.
ambulance, or both.
I would like to also just, so I remember so they're talking about this west side path thing on North Peachtree, and I would like to kind of, look, we got a retreat coming up as well. Back in 2024, we had a plurality of council saying that the Mount Vernon corridor was the number 1 priority for multi-use paths to build out. And local dollars are precious. And when will that be? So you can go from Jet Ferry to Chamblee Dunwoody on Mount Vernon build out. That to me is a laser focus of the priority. So I'm just one person speaking now from the 2024 retreat. I'd like to have that focus on getting Mount Vernon done because we want to, instead of a segment just sitting there doing nothing, doesn't go anywhere. That's what people say, right? It's, oh, it just goes nowhere to get that built. And that's going to be way out. So I'd like to consider then, if we want to look at the west side of the west side of North Peachtree, bring it to council, let us update our CIP to reflect priorities. Maybe we do that at the retreat, or we come back and say, okay, we're considering now the scope of adding the west side of North Peachtree for a path. But where does that fit now with all of our local SPLOST funding in a 5-year CIP? Okay, so I'd like to just have a high-level CIP conversation to reflect priorities to make sure we know where that, if it does fit in a 5-year CIP.
Go ahead, John.
Michelle, as far as a path on the west side of North Peachtree, what are our partners doing? What is Chamblee doing? Are we going to have for North Peachtree, for example, is there going to be room for a path under North Peachtree when that new construction happens?
They have accounted for that as part of it. I mean, obviously it's still as part of top end, you mean having their.
Right, correct.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that's the feds.
Yes, they had
the
agreed
underpass.
years ago when Eric Clarkston was still mayor of Chamblee.
Okay, so there's room for an underpass for a path to go through there?
Yes, and that's still kind of a moving target as far as their design goes, but I think the last that we saw that the path is on that west side, but I'd have to verify that.
Because I'd like to see drawings on that, because again, North Peachtree will also need a turnaround lane to go from Cotillion to Savoy, going from one way to the other one way. So I want to make sure that you have throughput, turnaround lane, and now you're also talking a path. That seems like a lot right there. I just want to make sure that that's what you're thinking is going to happen there.
From the latest plans that I saw, that they did have that space allotted. Whether I didn't see a striping plan, so I can't see how it was all laid out, but there was enough width for all of that.
It just seems like a lot. Thank you.
Go ahead, Stacy.
So help me understand the TAP grant. So we were awarded the TAP grant for a project, but there's no dollar amount affixed to it, correct?
There is, we were awarded 2.5 million in federal money. So the match to that is 640,000. Now, if that was for the full project. So if we start to pare that down and we get a contract for design and right away and it's not as much money, or we don't use as much money in right away acquisition because our project limits have decreased, then that's just federal dollars that we don't need.
Which we don't
That
get.
we don't use.
That we
utilize.
don't
Yeah.
get.
That we don't get, yes.
Okay.
Now, we can talk about and see if we could reallocate it. I would have to talk to ARC about that and GDOT. If there's a way that we could shift that money. Typically, they don't once they assign it to a phase, but we could ask and see.
Anybody else?
And
Okay,
sorry,
that's fine.
we've been awarded this, like
Yes.
this, like we have it signed, sealed, delivered.
We are still in the process of getting the agreement done. And so, but we have been notified that we have been awarded this grant money and the
For this
amount.
project,
Yes,
okay.
we have
And the
it.
amount.
We have a
Okay.
letter and it's been documented.
So one thing, just a thought, is what would happen? So warehousing for a moment, the fact that projects with federal dollars take way too long. Is there a way to reduce the cost of this project? Like, could we go from, I don't know the widths you're using on the sidewalks, because all I want is a 2.5-foot sidewalk to go to, say, 5 feet at this point, or 6 feet, right?
Mhm.
I don't need 12 feet. I don't know that that's what you have planned on that side.
No, it's
Right.
it's a
Or 6
foot.
feet, right? That's what I thought. But on the other side, is there a way to shrink? I know at the retreat, we're gonna have to talk about like what we as a council, what kind of consensus we can come to on what a width of a trail or a path is. But is there a way to look at the west side and say, if whatever you have, if you have 12 feet now and there are 10, if we reduce it to 8 or 6, I'm not, you don't have to answer this right now.
Mhm.
Does the cost reduce? However, that doesn't solve the 2032 problem for that one little I know it's not so little, but that one area where the sidewalk is just so small.
Mhm.
And I don't personally feel compelled to wait to 2032 to try to fix it. And so I think what we need because we're just talking in circles right now, is what we need, Eric, is some internal analysis on a couple of things. One, is there a way to expedite the federal project? There's probably not. But if there is there a way to reduce the overall cost of the project? And then the biggest question for me, and I think several other people up here, is how do we get the safe route to school portion of this for the kids that really have an inadequate sidewalk addressed in a reasonable time frame? Does that sound about right, John? I mean, that's what we're really asking for, is how do we, and I understand it's already 26 and 28 feels very far away, but it's just a year.
Yeah.
And so, but if we could just figure out how we fix this one issue, without maybe derailing the rest of our plans, I go on the ARC board on Wednesday, so maybe that can help. But having conversations with people to try to figure this out, but also looking at the whole project, and maybe there's a way to reduce the cost some, is also maybe a possibility.
So we would only need, so just to kind of answer a couple
Right.
of questions, but so the first, let's expedite the federal process. I don't really see that there is a really good answer to that one. I think a lot of people have wished that one, but it kind of is what it is at this point. To reduce the overall cost and looking at narrowing the shared use path to 6 or 8 feet, then that's technically not a shared use path anymore. That would just be a sidewalk. The minimum width for a shared use path is 10 feet. So right now we do have 12 feet in there. And so we could look at going to a 10-foot shared use path. But because there are federal guidelines and that we would have to abide by. in order for it to be shared for bikes and pedestrians.
Are you saying the TAP grant is for just the shared use path?
No, it's for both. I mean, so the top grant is, I think that was one of the things that the mayor mentioned about like reducing the widths. But the sidewalk we have on the east side is 6 feet. The shared use path would at a minimum at least need to be 10 foot on the west side. And then how to get the sidewalk in an adequate time frame. I mean, like I think a year is probably for design and it's really right away acquisition is the one that I think is going to be the longest time process. So.
I mean, the good news perhaps good news, maybe not, but on the west side is most of the right of way or most of the length of that project is on DeKalb County School System property. You have Chestnut and
they already have
Street.
some width already.
So, I mean, unless I'm missing something, there's only about like 5 or 6 properties south of the school that we would need to, I'm sure there's others that I'm not thinking of.
So yes, on the west side, and as you get further down, there are a couple of more parcels with the church and things like that. But on the east side, there are many more parcels. I mean, they are small. They're easements. They're temporary easements just to kind of tie back into the existing conditions. But those will still, take time still.
Not to get too far into the weeds right now, because I know but again, in the interest of saving costs and stuff, I would really, I don't know if this is part of the design scope of what you're looking at. Kind of down when you get down to North Forest Trail where it goes to 2 lanes in each direction.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any need for 2 lanes in each direction north of that signalized intersection with the apartment and the church.
Yes, we are.
So we have built-in right away right there that we don't
Mhm.
need to acquire.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So yes, we are
Yeah.
utilizing any additional space that we can, and that is yes.
Okay, but now,
The
go
only
ahead.
caveat of that would be the church services on Sunday. They were.
So from the
It's like how it
village,
happens on both
the
sides.
apartments north, that's really where we take advantage of it.
So I think our ask is to try to figure out how to get some version of phase 1 done in a relatively speaking quick time frame without at least come to us with a plan, I think. Well, this is the plan, I guess, but I don't know. We have to figure this out. Which,
What we can do as staff is I was texting with staff a minute ago, just trying to set up a meeting internally, like you were saying, to go ahead and look at some timelines, bring you all back something. And we can bring something back at the next meeting if you'd like to discuss.
just
this a little
when,
bit
it
further
doesn't have to be the
and-
next
and,
meeting, just
And
when
kind
you're,
of analyze it to bring you,
right.
the actual priority.
Bring it back. No, bring it back when you're ready. Because federal money or not, if this was a $10 million project, frankly, overall, like this one part of it, it would be a different conversation. But you're talking, does that 1.1 million reflect the 400,000 we had already set aside, or is it really 1.5 million?
It's really 1.6 million, and then
So it's
I'm sorry, no, option 2, we'd only actually need about 700,000
right.
Right. To be programmed in
Okay.
27 or 28.
So I think that's probably doable. But we can maybe look at some SPOS projects. There's probably a way we can figure this out. And that's where I think we are. I think you need to come back to us as soon as you can with a plan.
And Madam Mayor, respectfully, like if we could at the retreat have a revisit of
Yeah.
our CIP and look at all of these capital projects with the SPOS funding and the 5-year cycle, make sure we're in sync.
Right. I would argue this isn't totally the same as other because it's a big safety thing, but anyway, okay. All right, that's it. Thank you. We'll see it
Thank
again.
you.
Thank you for taking all our in the weed questions. All right, public comments. I don't have any more cards. So there will be, I guess, no more public comments. City manager comments.
Yes, Mayor, we do need an executive session for litigation.
Okay. Council comments. John.
Several months ago, neighbors told me about it, something that was happening in a neighbor's backyard. There was a leaf burning event that happened in one of my neighbor's yards. And I was surprised to learn that the DeKalb County does not outlaw leaf burning for a certain section of the calendar year. And it was fully allowed. City ordinances allowed the leaf burning. And it was a hindrance to and unsafe for some of our neighbors. And I have requested staff to put together a draft ordinance, and I am reviewing it. I've asked the mayor to review it with me. And at some point, I would ask, if not at the next meeting, the one after, that be brought forward for a public discussion. I don't know if it's a one read or a two read, but I'd like it to be at least a public discussion on one night. And then if it doesn't need two reads, that the next meeting after that, it could be voted upon. I don't want to vote it upon immediately. I want a discussion. I want to have it vetted. I want to make sure that the residents understand what has happened in the past, what the laws are. And we have studied things like little family campfires would be allowed, but leaf burning would not. Right? There's a whole bunch of city ordinances and what do we want? What do we don't want? What are we trying to stop? So it's been vetted and we're looking at it from different angles, but I want to have a city council discussion about the issue. And then we can, as a group, perfect it and push it forward so that we can possibly ratify it at some point near after that discussion. So that'd be my hope. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Joe, go ahead.
Just want to, I know it's at the end of the meeting and I'm not sure if anybody's seeing this or listening to this, but just be nice to each other right now. People may be hurting. Try to show some empathy. Try to be slow to judge and slow to condemn and check out on your friends and neighbors. People can put on an exterior face of just being friendly and nice, and you don't know what's going on in their personal lives. We have people, especially that they live by themselves. Just found out about a woman who's living by herself, and just by chance, she doesn't have a local family or anything, but some of her neighbors decided to check in on her, and she hadn't been paying her bills for like a year and things like that. So again, just please be kind to one another and reach out to your neighbors. We love this community. Yes, we're here as city government, but we really are a city of neighbors and a community here, and really just extend yourself. There's so many times, and I'll just say, everybody gets busy in your day-to-day life. We don't have kids. I work from home, and you're trying to get together with a couple for dinner. It's like, oh, maybe 3 months from now. And you know what? I know that sounds petty or not, but socialization is very, very important in this day in life when we're all isolated and maybe looking online or just reading the sad news. So please just, you know what? Maybe you can take 2 hours out and meet some people and say hello and just be with them. So anyway, I just want to let people, be sure you check in with your friends and neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Congratulations to Parks on the lights. I forgot to say that earlier. They were fantastic, and we should arrange that weather every year in December. We might just have it anyway. I need a motion for executive session for purposes of litigation.
Move to retire to executive session for purposes of litigation.
Second.
Moved by Rob, second by Stacy. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I call the question. All in favor, say aye. Thank you. Ready? I need a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Moved by Rob,
Second.
second by John. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. We stand adjourned. Thank you.